Welcome guys. Today we are going through the modification that I've done to the Aprilia Tuono 1100. There were some of you who've been asking me what kind of modification I've done and what kind of recommendation that I can make for you guys out there. So today we're going to do a walk around and going through the modification I've done to the Aprilia Tuono. Let's start from the front. So what I've done was the first thing I've done when I got the bike was the front headlights. So what I did was I installed the transparent protective film to avoid stone chips. Then the levers, I swapped them out for the CRG RC2. I've actually personally got the Shorty due to the reason I like how it is. How does it look, and also the main reason was on the clutch side it can be adjusted for distance from your handlebar to the levers, which the current stock levers from Aprilia it's not adjustable. Right, let's move on. The other thing that I've gotten for the bike when I just purchased it, the oil and also the radiator, I purchased the oil and radiator guard for it. At the same time, I've purchased the engine guard as well from RNG. This is important for some of us, just in case it protects the engine and also the handlebars or even the mirrors from stupidly dropping your bike. In Malaysia, there's a term for it. It's called jatuh bodoh, stupidly drop the bike. Happens to me before in my previous ownership of bikes, and I hope it doesn't happen to you guys. Let's move on. Okay, so the other mods in which I've done to the Aprilia, I've gotten the Giamoto rear sets. Now this is actually important is because the rear sets, as you can see, it can be adjusted according to your inseam or your legs. This is important to make sure that your ties would be parallel to the tank, at least on top of here, to enable you to be stable on the bike and to have some core stability. All right, not necessarily you can buy a Giamoto. There's a lot good ones in the market. To name a few is Lightech and also the Bonanici. I think Rizoma also carries them as well. All right, so let's move on. The other mods that I've done on the bike was, of course, the Aprilia approved Akrapovic exhaust. This is actually from an RSV4 1100. This is the Euro 4 road legal exhaust from Akrapovic. Note that it still has the catalytic converter installed on the exhaust, so the sound is not as noisy or as loud as your racing exhaust like a SC or even a straight pipe Akrapovic or Thermic Nonis and other brands as well. And the other mods I've done was also my B. She doesn't ride with me much anymore, so I've removed the passenger rear pegs and also installed the hangers, RNG hangers for the exhaust to be attached to the body. All right, so what else did I done for the bike? Okay, as you can see, the original mudguard at the back, I swapped it for the tail tidy from Moto Dynamics. This was actually a quite reasonable price mod in which I ordered it online, and I did it myself to install the tail tidy. Pretty neat. Okay, let's move on. Let's move to the tank. Now, the mods on the tank, I bought this, as you can see, the tank pad. This is mostly on aesthetic and also to protect your tank from your belt, just in case you move around on it. I think the most important thing on the tank, the mods I would actually recommend, Storm Grips is one of the good brands, one of my favorites actually. I tried a few other brands out there, and to be honest, Storm Grips actually has the best grips if you like to be more stable on the bike, especially when you're doing a lot of braking as well, just before the corners. And the other mods I've done to the bike is also the Rizoma mirrors, decent looking mirrors. I bought this off eBay. I previously had bar end mirrors, but I actually swapped them back into the traditional mirrors position, was because taking the corners you cannot do a proper fist screwdriver position because the bar end mirrors was in the way. So I transferred that to another bike, and now I'm actually using the traditional location of mirrors from Rizoma. And the significant upgrades when it comes to performance of the engine, the Aprilia Tuono now actually comes with, as you can see, there's an indication there that says Aprilia Racing. What I've done on the bike was, on engine wise, I've remapped this bike with the Brentuning map ECU. So what does this ECU map? Actually, they improve performance. The air and fuel ratio is improved, because the other mods I've done was not only I've done the Akrapovic exhaust, the other mods was the installed the air filter from Sprint air filter. So my recommendation, if you want to do your exhaust, I would recommend also to do your exhaust, your air filters, and also a map to actually just to configuring the air and fuel ratio to give you a better performance on the bike. Right, so now what's next? Okay, and the other mods I've done on the bike was also I've swapped the wheels, the rims, for forged aluminium rims from the RSV4. Significantly, the rear rims would actually save you around 1.6 kilograms, and in front it's about 600 or 800 grams weight savings. Now what that translates to is actually a very light feeling bike, especially when it rotates, and also you can feel that the bike's a little bit more nimbler. All right, and the one most important mods I've done, and it's the cheapest mod that I've done on the Tuono, in which it really brings the best of the bike, and it is not the ECU, or it's not even the exhaust. It is actually sending the bike to a professional mechanic, or a person who knows how to adjust your suspension, especially your fronts and your rear suspensions, to your weight and the way and based on what kind of riding you do, either canyon or in town or even the track, because that actually brings the bike into its full potential of being what the bike was meant to be, a canyon cover, or even bringing to the track. So I really enjoyed the bike more once I actually did the suspension setting to my weight, and I wish that I did it sooner, because I only did it about a year plus after ownership of the bike. And to be honest, because of that, I love the bike even more. So guys, if you ask me what's the first mods that you have to do, is my recommendation is, if you do have adjustable suspension, the front or even the rear, send it to the professional to actually get it set to your weight. Alright guys, so that's it for today. I think I covered everything what I've done on the bike, the modification. Hopefully this video helps you out, and if you want to know how much each mod costs, please feel free to private message me, PM me, and I'll be more than glad to explain to you, or even have a discussion of what kind of each mods bring benefits into your riding.